Hello, everybody! Today for Sunday Funday, we're going to see how I draw a ventriloquist goat. Just so you know, there's a coloring book that you can get through Amazon. Just follow the link in my description, and you can get a coloring book to show me how you color to how I draw. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Okay. So there you go. That's right off the bat. I had to see where he's standing and where his head's going to be. So basically, that's what a sketch is for, is to get us in the right spot and to make sure I have enough room, because I have little horns for him. And now that I see, you know, how much room I have, I could go a little bit higher, but no. I think what I'll do is I'll just make some bigger horns, you know, exaggerate it a little bit. And that's what a sketch is for. That tells you if you're in the right spot for fitting on the paper, you know. And I'm exaggerating. Goats don't really have horns that kind of stick up like this, or at least not the ones, the pictures I've seen, right? But because I had enough room, I wanted to go ahead and give him some specific details. I mean, this is our drawing. This is Sunday Funday. We could do whatever we want. And I'm going to give him his little belly. So goats have these big bellies that hang down, and I kind of want to keep it like that. I'm not going to draw like the big udders or anything because he's wearing pants, you know. He's a performer. And I think I can get this pretty quickly because, and with just a sketch, I don't think I'm going to have to press real hard. I always talk about, you know, we're going to stick with the confidence lines, not the sketch lines, but because it's very much out of the top of my head, I don't have to worry too much about the final lines, because this is pretty much just me making it up, and I'm kind of drawing as I go, so it's all up to me, is what I'm trying to say. So you know, I'm just going to do a few of these sketch lines to get us in there, and then the Sharpie will kind of define the rest. So that being said, there's not too many fine lines, or like I just said, I'm just saying the same thing over and over again, right? Okay, so let me give him a little jacket here, and then draw a little goatee, Gary Goatee, his little puppet. We'll just do something a little silly. Let me talk to you about ventriloquist dolls while we're doing this. I am deathly afraid of ventriloquist dolls. Everybody's afraid of something. Snakes, spiders, whatnot. Mine is ventriloquist dolls. And the reason is, you know what? Stop what you're doing. Open a new browser and Google ventriloquist dolls. You're gonna see some of the creepiest, scariest looking what the images you're ever gonna see. I don't know why, but the way they used to be made is just super creepy. And you know what? Ventriloquist dolls, they can go to hell. They can come over here, I will kick your face off. Come over here, I'll introduce you to my friend Fire and burn you, and yeah. So why am I drawing it? Conquer your fears kind of thing, you know. But I don't know why. I really don't know why they were always made so creepy. They're just so strange. So I thought I would do it just to kind of conquer that fear and have some fun with it. You know, it's Sunday Fun Day. We get to make all kinds of crazy things, so why not do something silly and crazy? Let's see. I think that's good. We might be there. Is there anything specific I wanted to add? I'm just trying to think to myself, thinking out loud, because I think we can go. Let me see. Let me look at a picture of a goat real fast, just to make sure I got it looking the way I want. Let's see. The eyes are more on the side over here, like that. He's got his nose here like this. Okay, I think that ought to do it. Yeah, you guys ready to go? Let's welcome everybody. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's erase some of these lines, these sketch lines, and then we'll move on to the Sharpie. And a lot of this is sketch, so there's not a lot I got to erase. But I do want it to disappear because I want the Sharpie to stand out, not the sketch lines. But the problem is, I didn't have to press too hard, so it's a lot of sketch lines, so I don't want to erase everything. Just enough that it'll disappear and the Sharpie will stand out, but not so much that I can't see what I did. I need something to guide me, right? Okay, I think that might work right there. Right. Oh, look, I'm having to press a lot harder than I thought. Okay, there we go. So let's welcome everybody that skipped and get going. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do a different drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen, mostly the fine point, but it depends a little finer than a fine point. You can find things that a fine point can't quite find. I've sketched the entire thing out. I've erased the majority of it, but left myself a faint ghost of an image that I could use to guide me on this Sharpie adventure and get us going. So I'm going to start with the Sharpie pen. It's a little finer than this fine point, and I can control the line widths much better. So I'm going to start off with this and build my way out. So I've got him just standing there, and I've already talked about this in the sketch of the positioning and all that. And heck, you know where it's going to go because you've seen this. You've seen the image in the end. So I'm going to start off with the eyes. I'm going to kind of set them far apart over here, just to see if I've got them in the right spot. And that's about right. It looks good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and draw his eyes. Just a little bit of a, like little, we'll add some retina like that, but not much because a lot of it is going to be taken care of with color. And these Sharpies will bleed if I add too much. So I'm just kind of being subtle with it to imply where his eyes are, okay? Let's go ahead and build around and I can go down to the nose. So I'm going to draw his... Oh, and I'm going to kind of do stuff like this too. I'm going to draw kind of like a fur or hair, I guess is what it is that's around his head. So it's not going to be smooth. It's going to have little jags, just to kind of show certain parts where there's flowing fur. You know, not a lot, but just letting you know why my lines are going to be a little shaky at certain points. Okay, so I'm going to draw his horns, or the fur around his horns. So we're going to kind of give him some beautiful locks, something like this, just to show some fur. And also he's a performer, so he's kind of fixed up his hair to make it look nice and pretty for his performance. And he's nice looking, right? Okay, so I'll do some more lines kind of like this, just to kind of show, kind of a hairline, kind of how he got his hair pretty. And that's it. That's all I want to do there. I don't want to go too crazy. So now that we have kind of the shape, let's go down and work our way with the rest of the head. So I want this part smooth down to his mouth, and let's give him like a little smile, something like that. And then I'm gonna bring it in just a little bit. Now that's where his his lips are, but you can't really see as much because I'm going to do this for his little goatee. What's funny is I was just trying to think of a better word than goatee, but no, it's appropriate. He's a goat. That's where the whole thing came from, right? So it's exactly what it is, a goatee. All right, and let me just make sure that I got some fine edges there, and then I can build off of this. So I'm gonna draw his little nostrils like this, something like that. And the rest of it we'll do with color. We'll just kind of do something like this just to show that there's a flow up like that. And color is going to kind of blend in the rest of that, okay? Now, I'm going to start to thicken up these edges a little bit too, because once I move over to this Sharpie, it's super thick. And I know what it's going to look like, so I'm just trying to prepare for that. You don't have to if you're working with pencil. I just know how it's going to be, so I'm trying to get ready for it. So I think I'm going to switch over now. That way it can all start to flow. So I'm going to draw his ears first. I'm going to draw the inside, then do the outside. So I'm going to do something like this. Like that, okay? All right, do the same thing over here. I'm going to do, let's see. Like that. And so now for his horns don't really, or goat's horns don't really go this crazy, but as I was sketching, I was talking about how his head was so small and horns are going to be like this. I said, let's go crazy. Let's do something cool with a big horn. Let's do like a big, exaggerated horn like that. Okay, make sure I don't draw through the hairline. And this one we'll do a little bit over this way. We'll mix it up and make it asymmetrical. That way it's a little more interesting, because if you draw it just symmetrical, the exact same, it's good, you know, but this way we're breaking it up, we're mixing it up, we're doing something different. Oops, that's a little too pointy. I wanted it rounder. Something like that. All right. Okay, so there's a lot of lines and horns, but we're not going to worry about that. We're good with the way it is. So now I'm going to work my way down, and I'm going to draw his neck, and he's got a nice little collar, neckerchief type kind of thing. So I'm going to come down like this. I'm going to say it's across like that. Now you can't see where it ties in because obviously, you know, his goatee's in the way. So I'm going to draw, let's draw his lapel like that, so we get an idea where we are. And then I'm going to draw, let's do it with this Sharpie. Let's accent his little, what's it called? It's not an ascot. That's what it is. Where it's not quite a tie. It's like a gigantic kerchief tie thing. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I'm going on and on about that. Let's draw his lapel. Come down here and do this. Now his arm is reaching over to hold up little goatee, Gary Goatee. So it's got to stop at a certain point. So that's why I'm not drawing any further down. Okay. So let's do. Ooh, you know what? Let's draw a little flower. A little flower, but in Texas we call it a flower. Let's do a little boutonniere, little little something like that, just to kind of show that he's got a little bit of a pretty attachment, you know, on his lapel. And the reason I want to do it first is because now I can come out like this, and when I come down, I won't draw through it. So you always want to plan what's going to be first. That way, what's in front doesn't get covered up. All right, this one we're just going to draw just down like that. Okay. Okay, look at that fancy man. Okay, so now let's draw this arm over, and we can draw Gary Goatee, and that'll guide us. Okay, so I'm going to draw his shoulder like this, his arm, and then it's going to be bent right here at the elbow. So, and I'm just doing stuff like that for creases and folds. It's not a shaky hand. It's a bump that I'm expecting. Okay. thing. Alright, so in doing that, now I'm going to add some creases and folds. And I'm doing a bunch because his arm is bent. You know, once your arm is bent over like this, your jacket gets really creased. Alright, cool. Alright, so he's holding up his goat, and the other arm is basically back behind, you know, working the puppet. And so you can't really see it. So all we got to do is draw what's here on the side. So here I'm going a little crazy with a different style of let's just make him weird looking, because I talked about this in the sketch. Ventriloquist dolls are creepy, crazy, weird, and I am deathly afraid of them. So we're gonna make his goat same thing. Like if he was, you know, people make weird, crazy, scary ventriloquist goats. Ventriloquist dolls. So I figure a goat might make a weird ventriloquist goat, you know? Alright, so that being said, let's just make this weird, crazy, puppet looking thing. And it's gonna be, you know, stubby little body, that kind of stuff. So let's build, I guess, from his arm right here. So I'm gonna draw some little pants, something like this. And we're gonna draw like a leg. And I'm trying to draw building off this arm right here, so you see where we are, because I wanted to start with the head, the crunchy bits, the best bite in the world, but you know, we got to do the small work first, and the small work is continuing where we're stopping, so you see where we are. Okay, all right, let me do this with the finer detail. This is little legs all bent over, you know. We're gonna say these are his little shoes. We'll say he's got laces like that. Okay. His little legs hanging over, that's what we're doing. Alright, so I'm gonna draw his arms. He's got little stubby little arms. And let's give him like this weird, strange, big old collar. You know, just something like this. Okay, so now I've got some edge lines that I can go ahead and just finish off or connect a few things, you know? Okay, before I go any further, I think I do need to draw the head, because now I've got the mouth open according to the sketch, and I don't want to start drawing through it on accident. So let's continue this up just a little bit. Now I'm going to draw the back of his jaw, I guess. Like that. We're going to draw, ooh. I know this is backwards. I know this is really backwards, but I got to draw his jawline. Now, all those crazy ventriloquist dolls have a crazy jawline where that line is that opens the bottom jaw. So that's what I was trying to accent right there. So now, here we go with the actual puppet head. Okay? And his mouth is going to be open, so let's just go ahead and like stick his tongue out into this crazy little... There we go. Is it starting to make sense now? All right. Before I keep going, I'm going to go ahead and do the other side like I was doing there. There's his weird little crazy lapel thing. I can draw his belly like that. Draw his arms. Connect it where I didn't connect. Now let's do some crazy horns like we did in the for him. All right, let's do something like that, and then maybe another one almost kind of goofy looking too, you know. There we go. So let me come back with the smaller Sharpie and add a little bit of wackiness. Right. So I talked about this in the sketch, how I'm afraid of them because they're all creepy looking. I don't know what it is, why back then they made them all super weird, but Any old picture you look at of a ventriloquist doll is super crazy, creepy, weird. I said it before and I'll say it again. Ventriloquist doll, you can go to hell. Come over here. I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna kick your face off. I'm gonna introduce you to fire, is what I said before. But we're doing something different, something crazy, you know? Okay, there's his other shoulder, and again, like I said, his arm is back behind, so you can't really see. I guess we can draw like an elbow back here, but it almost wouldn't make sense. You're looking at it, you're like, what is that thing? Rather than explain it, let's not worry about it. Let's just draw the rest of the goat, the ventriloquist, and get it going, okay? So, let's see. So I'm going to draw his coat down like this. I know this is kind of weird, but I've got it kind of hanging down. So his center is going to be like this, and it's going to wrap around like that. Then when we draw the rest of the leg, we'll show like the flaps hanging down. Like that. And let's go ahead and do a little bit of cleanup here. So this can come down. That is going to connect right about there, so you can't really see it anyway. So we're not too worried about any of that. We'll add a little button here, maybe a little bit of stress, a little bit of creases and folds like that. But that's all we're going to do. Now, goats have big old bellies, so we're going to give him a belly and finish up with his pants here. So we're going to come down into this leg, and then this one's going to come down this way into his knee, and then we'll say it's going to bend back here, and we're going to give him short pants, little short pants like this. So now I can finish his leg, go into a hoof like that, and let me add some detail in a second. Or no, I'll do it now. Let's add like a little hoof line like that. We'll add some fur from where it's over his hoof like that. Alright, so since this is cloth, I'm just adding some stress lines, you know, some material. There we go, and we'll just say his pants go across like that. And that's good. We don't need to draw any more for his little old belly. Let's just draw the other leg. So I'm going to come down here like this. There's his knee. Same thing, it kicks back a little bit. So I'm going to come back here and just guide us with this one. Come down here for his short pants. So now I can draw the front. Same thing, I'm going to draw a little bit of the fur coming out. I should have done that the first time, but I added it with a small Sharpie there. In the side of his hoof. There we go. So again, let me add just a little bit extra, a little bit of a pant stretch. Okay. And there we go. So there, I say we take care of the rest with color. So for Sunday Fun Day, that is a ventriloquist goat. So here's my colored version. You can color it however you like. I just thought I'd show you how I decided to color it. If you'd like to color it like this, you can always pause the video here and use the coloring techniques that I used, or you can just make it your own. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures of how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button for new videos.